Hello, my name is Joshua Brown from howtobecome.com and welcome to this training video where I'll teach you how to pass your NHS support worker interview. If you have an NHS support worker interview coming up, then this tutorial will really help you. I'll cover the 5 most common NHS support worker interview questions, explain why they're being asked, and give you example answers that you can use in your own preparation. Now, during this video, I'll be using my NHS support worker interview questions and answers pack, which you can download straight after watching. This contains 27 questions and sample answers to help you fully prepare. But before we start, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. I upload new job interview training videos every week and I want you to be the first to see them. Also, please like this video because that motivates me to create more free content for you. Okay, let's get into the training. Now, before I cover the questions, it's really important that you understand what NHS employers are looking for in a support worker. That way, you can tell the hiring manager or the interview panel exactly what they want to hear in your interview by linking your own experience and qualities to the role. So please write these down. The role is about supporting patients with compassion and dignity. It's also about assisting nurses and healthcare professionals. It's also about communicating clearly with patients and families and following procedures carefully. It's also about living the NHS values in everything that you do. If you keep these things in mind, you will always give strong answers that align with what the interview panel wants. Let's now take a look at some of the most common NHS support worker style questions, my top scoring answers, and then I will tell you the most common mistakes that nearly all candidates make and what you can do to stand out. NHS support worker question number 1 is tell me about yourself. This is almost always the first question. It sets the tone for the whole interview. They want a short, confident summary that shows you have the skills, values, and motivation to be a support worker. The best way to answer it is by using the SEAT method, S-E-A-T, and it stands for this. You start your answer off with the skills that you have. You then mention experience or education you can bring to the role, then talk about any achievements you have, and then finally the type of person you are and what you will do in the role to help them. And you can easily remember this structure as you'll be sat on a seat at your interview. Here is a brilliant top scoring answer to help you. Thank you for this opportunity. I would describe myself as caring, reliable, and a hard-working person who enjoys helping others. I have strong communication and teamwork skills, and I stay calm under pressure. In my previous role, I supported people with daily tasks, and I found it very rewarding to see the positive impact I could make. One of my proudest achievements was receiving positive feedback from both a colleague and a service user for the way I handled a challenging situation with patience and empathy. I'm the type of person who will support patients with dignity, follow NHS procedures, and work closely with the team to deliver the best possible care. NHS support worker question number 2 is why do you want to work as a support worker in the NHS? Now, they're asking you this question as they need to see that you are motivated by the right reasons and that you genuinely want to make a difference in healthcare. Here is another brilliant example answer that you can use to aid your preparation. I want to work as a support worker in the NHS because I'm passionate about caring for others and making a difference in people's lives. The NHS is built on values such as compassion, respect, and improving lives, and I want to play a part in that. I know that this role will sometimes be challenging, but I find it rewarding to help people during difficult times. I'm motivated by the opportunity to support patients, assist nurses and healthcare staff, and contribute to the excellent reputation of the NHS. NHS support worker interview question number 3 is what skills and qualities do you think are needed to be a support worker? Now, they're asking you this question as they want to know that you understand what the job involves. Here is a great example answer to help you. To be an effective support worker, you need compassion, patience, and empathy to care for patients in a respectful and dignified way. You also need good communication skills to listen carefully and explain things clearly. Teamwork is vital, as you'll be supporting nurses, doctors, and other staff. You must be reliable and organised and willing to follow instructions closely. Finally, resilience and adaptability are important because healthcare can be fast-paced and emotionally demanding. That kind of answer shows self-awareness and proves you know what the role requires. NHS Support Worker question number 4 is, can you give an example of when you worked as part of a team? Now, they're asking you this question as teamwork is at the heart of the NHS. They want evidence that you can contribute to a team. So when answering any kind of behavioural interview question, a question where you're required to draw on your prior experiences, make sure you use the STAR method to structure your answer. STAR. It stands for situation, task, action, and result. Make sure the result is always a positive one and that you tie your answer back to the job role. Here is a brilliant top scoring answer doing just that. In my last role, I worked in a team that supported vulnerable adults. One of our tasks was to plan and deliver activities that encouraged independence. I communicated with my colleagues to share ideas, and we supported each other if someone was struggling. On one occasion, a colleague was unable to attend, so I stepped in to lead the activity. I stayed calm, kept the group engaged, and everything went smoothly. As a result, the activity was a success, and my manager praised me for my teamwork and reliability. I believe this shows I can adapt, support others, and work effectively as part of a team. NHS Support Worker interview question number 5 is, how would you deal with a difficult patient? Now, this is a really tricky question, and it gets asked because support workers are often encountered with patients who are upset, distressed, or frustrated, and they want to see if you can remain calm, compassionate, and professional. Here is a great example answer to help you. If I was dealing with a difficult patient, the first thing that I would do is remain calm and professional. I would listen to their concerns without interrupting, show empathy, and reassure them that I wanted to help. I would maintain a respectful and non-judgmental approach to try and de-escalate the situation by staying patient and understanding. If the situation required it, I would seek help from a senior colleague or nurse to ensure that the patient received the right support. My focus would always be on keeping the patient safe, maintaining dignity, and following the NHS values. Okay, now that you know 5 of the most common questions and answers, let me quickly share some mistakes that you must avoid at your NHS support worker interview. Mistake number 1 is talking too much about yourself and not enough about the role. Mistake number 2 is forgetting to mention the NHS values. They are your blueprint for success. You must align with the values. Mistake number 3 is saying you want the job just for the experience or money. That is a big red flag. Mistake number 4 is preparing examples without using the STAR method. You must use that STAR method. Situation, task, action, result is a brilliant way to structure your interview answers to any of the NHS behavioural interview questions. Mistake number 5 is failing to smile, failing to make eye contact, and failing to show enthusiasm. You must do those things if you want to leave a positive impression on the interview panel. If you avoid those mistakes, you will stand out for the right reasons. Let's finish with 3 quick but powerful tips. Tip number 1 is to research the NHS trust that you are applying to. Mention something specific in your answers to stand out. Tip number 2 is to always prepare your first answer. Tell me about yourself and practice it out loud until it flows naturally. And tip number 3 is to have at least 2 smart questions ready to ask at the end. For example, what qualities do your best support workers have? Or how do you support staff development and training? These questions show you're serious about the role. So there we have it. 5 of the most commonly asked NHS support worker interview questions, complete with example answers and some tips. Let's quickly recap the question. Question number 1 was, tell me about yourself. Question number 2 was, why do you want to work as a support worker in the NHS? Question number 3 was, what skills and qualities are needed for this role? Question number 4 was, give an example of a time when you worked in a team. And question number 5 was, how would you deal with a difficult patient? So those are just some of the key questions that you should be preparing for. But if you want the full list of the top 27 NHS support worker style interview questions, plus the brilliant example answers to help you pass at your first attempt, then click that link in the top right hand corner or in the pinned comment below this video. It will take you straight through to my website, howtobecome.com, where you can get all of the answers we've covered today, plus a total of 27 expertly crafted responses to the most commonly asked NHS support worker style interview questions. And as a bonus, I've also included 3 smart questions that you should ask at the end of your interview on that page to make a lasting impression. Most candidates will only prepare a handful of questions. If you prepare all 27 from my pack, you'll be way ahead of the competition. This is a powerful resource designed to put you ahead of the other candidates, so make sure you check it out. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm on a mission to help as many people as possible pass their job interviews, and I can only do that if you are subscribed. Also, hit that like button if you found this useful. It really helps motivate me to create more videos like this for you. If you have any questions about this job role or any other role within the NHS, drop them in the comments below. I reply to all comments with tips and advice. And finally, don't forget to connect with me on LinkedIn. The link is in the description. I'd love to connect with like-minded professionals such as yourself. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all the best in your NHS support worker interview. You've got this.